I still remember that evening so clearly. It was a Friday, just like any other. I had finished up work early, eager to relax at home with Hannah. We had plans to watch a movie, maybe order takeout, just the two of us like always. But something was off the moment I walked in the door. She was sitting on the couch, her tablet in her lap, staring at the screen with a strange intensity. I greeted her, but she barely looked up. Just a quick nod before returning to whatever she was doing. Usually, Hannah was warm, always pulling me in for a hug when I got home, asking about my day. But that day, her mood felt distant, like there was a wall between us. I did not want to overthink it. Maybe she was tired, maybe work had been stressful, but something gnawed at me. It was not until later that night, when she casually mentioned her new coworker, Lucas, that a tiny flicker of suspicion sparked in my mind. "He's just a friend," she said, as if she needed to clarify something I had not even asked about. The words echoed in my head. I never asked about Lucas. He had never come up in conversation before, and now here she was, almost defensively, telling me about him. My stomach churned a little, but I pushed it down. I did not want to be that person, the paranoid one who reads into every little thing. Over the next few days, small things started to pile up. She would be on her phone more often, texting with a slight smile on her face. Whenever I asked her who it was, she would just say it was a work thing, brushing me off without really answering. Then there were the late nights. Suddenly, she had extra meetings, errands after work, things that kept her away until long after the time she used to come home. At first, I believed her. But one evening, she was later than usual, and I noticed something strange. Her phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. I glanced at it without thinking, just a reflex, and saw a message from Lucas. It was nothing too suspicious on the surface, just, "Are you coming?" But the context made my heart race. Coming where? Why was he texting her so late? That night, I lay awake next to her, listening to her breathe softly, wondering if I was losing my mind. I wanted to trust her. We had been together for 4 years, built a life together in this city. But the doubt was there now, creeping in and making me question everything. The more I thought about it, the more I realized how distant she had become. We used to talk for hours about everything, share our thoughts and dreams. Now, our conversations were short, almost formal, as if she was trying to keep me out of something. The breaking point came one evening when I asked her if I could borrow her tablet to check something online. Her reaction was instant. Her face paled, and she quickly grabbed the tablet off the table, holding it tightly against her chest. "Why do you need it?" she asked, her voice suddenly sharp. It was such an innocent request, but the way she reacted, it was like she was hiding something, protecting something. My stomach twisted, and I realized that whatever was going on, it was not just in my head. "I just wanted to check something," I said, trying to keep my voice calm, but inside I was boiling with a mix of fear and anger. She hesitated, then handed me the tablet, but her hands were shaking. That was when I knew. There was something on there she did not want me to see. My mind raced with possibilities, and as I unlocked the screen, I felt a strange sense of dread, like I was about to cross a line I could never come back from. I opened the messaging app, and there it was, a conversation with Lucas, full of messages that went way beyond what just friends would say. Flirty, intimate, talking about plans to meet, about how much they missed each other. My chest tightened, and I could feel my heart pounding in my ears. My world started to spin as I scrolled through the messages, seeing things I could not unsee. She had been lying to me. All those late nights, the secrecy, the sudden distance, it all made sense now. I could feel my hands trembling as I put the tablet down, staring blankly at the wall. I did not confront her right away. I could not. I needed a moment to process everything, to figure out what I was going to do. For the next few days I pretended everything was fine, even though inside I was falling apart. Every time she smiled at me, every time she said she loved me, I wondered if she meant it. If she ever had. It was like I was living in a nightmare, trapped in this web of lies she had spun around us. Finally, I could not take it anymore. One evening, after dinner, I looked her in the eye and asked her straight out, "Is there something you need to tell me about Lucas?" Her face froze, and for a split second, I saw the guilt flash across her eyes. She quickly composed herself, but it was too late. I had already seen it. "What are you talking about?" she said, trying to play dumb, but her voice was shaky. You know exactly what I'm talking about, I said, my voice calmer than I felt. I saw the messages, Hannah. I know. She stared at me, her eyes wide, and for a moment I thought she might deny it, try to lie her way out of it, but instead she sighed, her shoulders slumping in defeat. I did not mean for it to happen, she whispered. It just did. Her words hung in the air between us, heavy and suffocating. I wanted to scream, to yell at her for betraying me, for breaking everything we had built. But instead, I just sat there, numb, trying to make sense of it all. Why? I asked, my voice barely more than a whisper. Why would you do this? She did not answer right away. She just sat there, staring at the floor, as if she could not bear to look at me. I do not know, she finally said. I was confused. Things between us, they have not been the same for a while. I needed something different, something new. Her words cut deep, but I could not deny that part of me understood. We had drifted apart, and I had not even noticed until it was too late. But that did not excuse what she had done. It did not make it hurt any less. In the end, I told her I needed time. Time to think, time to figure out if I could forgive her, if we could move past this. She said she was sorry, that she regretted it, but I was not sure if I could believe her anymore. As I lay in bed that night, alone, I realized that trust is fragile. Once it is broken, no matter how hard you try, it is never quite the same again.